so we couldn't hear it, but now we are good.
All right, this is a citation that was issued on May 6th of this year. Oh, hold on, they went away. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry about that. Do you think I'd be better at this by now?
All right, this is a citation issued on May 6th of this year on Blue Star Highway there in Saugatuck Township, Allegan County, state of Michigan. This is for a minor in possession, first offense, civil infraction. Barrett, you are here on this citation to do one of three things. First is you could admit responsibility to the citation, or two, admit responsibility, but you'd like to provide some sort of explanation as to how or why this happened. Or three, you wish to contest this citation. In other words, fight the ticket at what we call informal hearing. What were you looking to do?
Number two.
All right. And what is it you'd like to tell me?
I'll just kind of basically gonna explain to you what I've learned from this event that happened in my life.
Okay.
So
Barrett, how old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
All right, go ahead.
Well, so me and my friends we kind of just were, honestly, we were just starting, like we're venturing with drinking alcohol, and we didn't really know what it would do to our body. And, that was a mistake right on its own. But, my friend told me he was good to drive, but, looking at it now, obviously that was the dumbest decision of our lives. And I'm not even friends with him anymore. I've cut all my connections off with him to whatever, to like better myself and stuff. But I don't know, it just kind of like, I was just asking like if there's like anything that really I could say or whatever that you'd like to hear or talk about.
Well, first of all, I will explain to you about the minor in possession rules changed a lot from where they used to be. It used to be if you were under 21 and you got caught either transporting, possessing, or drinking the alcohol, that was a misdemeanor. And the difference is a misdemeanor stays on your record. All right. And then they changed the rule. And they essentially made the first time that it happens a civil infraction. And essentially a civil infraction means below misdemeanor, right? So okay. This is like getting a speeding ticket, right?
Okay.
It's not nothing, and it has a consequence, those fines and costs. The biggest consequence to you is that these are cumulative. You're only 16. You can't legally be messing around with alcohol for another 5 years. And what I mean by they're cumulative is the second one that you catch will in fact become a misdemeanor. All right. So the laws got a little bit easier, actually. In other words, back in the day, you would have gone straight to this is on your record. You are getting essentially a first time that this is happening to you, just going to be a ticket. Now that does still mean you have a pretty steep fines and costs there. I think it's $210. And then I'm sure whatever your parents put you through for having this happen. But that's the big cautionary thing that I would tell you is essentially your, the small bite of the apple, you're taking it right now. And now you have a long period of time because you're only 16 where you have to not get in trouble with alcohol, or it will have a consequence that'll sort of affect your ability to, do a lot of things. But I hesitate to say that this is, I don't want to downplay this. You know what I mean? Like I said, you're here with, I'm assuming your parents sitting next to you. I'm sure you kind of have been put through the ringer already by them. You do now have this $210 fines and costs. But essentially what I would tell you, as far as like what you said, what would I like to hear from you, or what could you do? So I would say it sounds like you're there. You sound, I mean, just to be honest with you, a little bit ahead of the curve for a kid, as far as you realizing just how dumb this could have ended up. You know what I mean? Because, you know, there is no amount of misdemeanors or fines and costs that help you if you get in an accident, you know. You know, kids do dumb things. What you need to do is learn from it,
Yeah,
right?
I think
All
this
right.
this event that happened is honestly, it was probably pretty good for me to experience, especially because we could have hurt someone, and because we didn't, I really learned from this experience, and it'll help me never do it again. And
Yeah.
so that's
And you really, you sort of, you know, you burn that bridge with the one time with very little consequence. The next time steps up, you'd have to go to a victim impact panel. You'd have to do some online classes. It would affect your insurance. It would do a lot of different things. But they sort of reworked it. So this first one is more just, look, you're going to get a slap on the hand, and then it's up to you where you take it from here, right? Whether you make smart choices or not. So.
Okay, and I guess I'm the dad. I'm Russ Blondin. I am, you know, this is all new to us. Barrett's our oldest kid. You know, we haven't been in this situation before. My wife and I never had a MIP or whatever, so we just didn't know. Like you talk about, it just seems like it's a lot more serious than a speeding ticket. But I just don't know.
Well, when it was a misdemeanor, you'd have to go down to juvenile court because you're a minor.
Okay.
And you would have to have been processed that way. Because this is a ticket, you're actually in traffic court right now, and this is handled like a civil infraction. If there's ever a next time,
Okay.
and if you're still 16, yeah, you go through the juvenile court system for this same thing.
Okay.
And then if you're, you know, in 17, if you're 18, you're up here in district court with all the other misdemeanor crimes that go all the way up to 1 year in jail with all those guys.
Wow.
This one kind of threads the needle a little bit, where you know, you come into Zoom, you talk to the magistrate, and you have that penalty. It's a lot better deal than it used to be, but you're done now with the better deal. Next time, you're either going to get processed through juvenile court or through adult misdemeanor court. All right.
Yep.
But other than what we just did, all you need to do now is contact the court to make arrangements to pay that $210. All right.
Yep.
So then
All
there's
right.
nothing that goes on his record that he's going to have to try to do community service for or anything like that. It's just.
Not this first time.
Okay. I
All
guess
right.
we didn't really understand all that. So that is good to know.
Well, and even I do think that there's an age component, that he's young enough that I think they would have made him do victim impact panel, but I think the way that this is charged, it was just charged as, you know, under 21 in possession. So he wasn't quite charged for his age, and it would have had more. But I think this is just going to get processed with fines and costs. And like I said, now you're that first time thing, that block is now checked. If it ever happened again, you can skip all this easy stuff and go right to the more complicated stuff. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and release you.
All right. Thank you for your time.
To either the officers or.
Yeah. I'm just sorry, whatever, especially to Mr. Officer Theodore, for, you know, taking the time and just telling me whatever everything has a consequence with it, and, you know, not just screaming at my face and actually taking the time and talk to me. That was special to me.
Well, like the magistrate said, just take it to heart. It's all about your decisions, you know, and the choices you make. And I'm just glad you and Elias didn't get hurt, or you didn't hurt anybody else. It could have been very serious that day. It was very close. I mean, you guys came very close to hurting yourselves or hurting somebody else. And you know, you got to make good decisions going forward, and don't get to that next step, because like the magistrate said, there's greater penalties. And yeah, you've got a future ahead of you. You just got to stay on track.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yep.
Go ahead and release you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Heard on the telephone, your name, please.
Hello,
Yep, what's your name?
Ashley Edamoff.
Ashley, what are you here for? Oh, ma'am, you had a ticket at 9:40. Your case is already over. You were defaulted for not showing up.
Okay,
You're all set. Thank you.
thank you.
Trooper, what are you here for?
Alexis Barajas, speeding.
I don't have an Alexis Baraja. I don't have you on here either. What time?
10:10.
Yeah, for some reason my 1010's off. That usually means because they went ahead and paid it. Why don't you just call the district court and ask the ladies up front if that's what happened, but it's not on my schedule anymore, so
Perfect. Thanks, sir.
thank you. All right, and you are Caleb Randall, right? All right, on the telephone, your name, please.
Caleb Randall. Hello?
Oh, yeah, so you're on the
Can you hear
phone separate from your iPhone.
Sorry.
That's all right, as long as we can hear you, that's fine. I actually don't have your officer here yet, so I'm gonna pop you back over in the waiting room.
Okie dokie.